Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits, only temporarily, those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on.
The government, because the economy is growing, the government is now giving young people who are registered in HEART approximately $150 each month to help them with the bus fare and help them with the lunch money. So nobody has any excuse not to go to school to learn a skill because you're getting help with the bus fare and help with the lunch money as well. If that is not transformational, I don't know what is. So if that is not transformational, I don't know what is.
Some 60-odd shelters across the country.
Go to any of our 780 plus shelters.
We have 900 shelters right across the island.
Wagwan family, good evening. This is a very interesting video. I want you guys to share this if you think somebody should hear this. No. We know the farm workers of Jamaica been coming out talking about them bad treatment. Cause some would go over there and claim and go investigate, come back and say nothing to see here. Basically what I'm getting from Carl Samuda is like the farm worker them a tell a lie. You see? No, people, breaking news. The UN, the United Nations, slammed Canada Farm Work Program. The Farm Workers Program, the UN slam it and say it's a breeding ground for contemporary form of slavery. Remember when the Jamaican farm worker them say it's like slavery. The Jamaica government say nothing to see here. Carl Samuda go over there and say, no, nothing to see. Nothing wrong. You know, say nothing wrong with it. But now me make you hear what I go on. Changes is coming because many Jamaican farm workers who complained got sent home. I want you guys to know that. Many of them got sent home. Changes not come easy. You have to look on the fight for change as a marathon and not a sprint. Many of these farm workers who complain get sent home because you have some liaison officer who are both liquor and working for the boss to keep the people in slavery, and you have the government not give a damn because some would go over there and say nothing to see here. Wait until you hear what is going on, what the UN have to say about the living condition, the working condition of our brothers who go over Canada. It's like a slavery, them go in. That's why I say if a man go to Canada and bring back a bottle of water, come give you, or a soap, because about your business. A roughness the man them come from. Me also tell about my own experience. I was stripped naked in a one big room. Every man in there naked. Me tell about my slavery experience in the back of the plane because I went to Canada one time also on the farm working program. So I will also address that for who never hear it before. Let's get down tonight. Because here we are going. This is 1 year ago until we go recently and tell you what the UN said. The UN slammed Canada bad. Yeah. One of the man from the UN went to Canada for 14 days. Him over there investigate. 14 days. Carl Samuda go over there and find nothing wrong. I take a different man to go over there go find pure wrong bang with the farm worker them. So if you guys have farm worker family, person used to go to farm work, send this to them. Make we all discuss this. Listen to this.
Jamaican migrant workers were sent back to the Caribbean from an Ontario farm after holding a strike in protest of their workplace conditions.
Some days you're working, some days you're not. You don't pick and choose the days you want to work. That's not the way this works.
In a video obtained by CTV News Toronto, a man can be seen shouting and swearing at workers over their refusal to work. A previous video posted on social media shows a row of overflowing toilets with shower curtains acting as doors. The workers arrived in Canada in the spring and were scheduled to remain at the farm until the fall, but they were sent home on August 8th instead. Jamaica's Labour Minister says an investigation has since been launched. And the federal government says it is reviewing the circumstances of the workers' departure. The farm, however, has not responded to repeated interview requests from CTV News Toronto. For more on this story, I am joined live by Tanita Doma, member of Justice for Migrant Workers. Tanita, good to have you on. Thanks for taking the time.
Can I guys hear?
Thank you. So I'll just start by asking for, you've seen this video, obviously, in some of these pictures. What's your reaction to this alleged treatment of these migrants?
So this is a specific situation, of course, but unfortunately for our group, Justice for Migrant Workers, this is not a one-off situation. This is part of an underlying problem with the temporary foreign worker program. It's employer-driven. It gives employers the power to unilaterally terminate a contract and send workers home without access to any of the legal or other remedies that other workers and migrants may have access to. So this is unfortunately often the case when workers are speaking up about the conditions that they're facing in the workplace or in their housing.
Now, Jamaica's Labour Ministry is conducting investigations, and it did report that there may have been challenges with the crop at that farm, which can be a common reason to terminate contracts prematurely. Of course, these workers are saying that they were sent home because they were protesting these conditions. What do you think about those two different answers?
Yes, we have heard from the employer and through the Jamaican ministry, where the employer told the ministry that was the reason the workers were sent home. But we were also told by the workers that the employer brought in new workers after these workers were sent home. So there's a difference in what the employer is saying and what the workers are saying. And what the workers are saying is that they were sent home because they are protesting these conditions. And the fact that new workers were brought in really calls into question whether those are the actual reasons that the employer sent these workers home.
Have you heard from these new workers yet in terms of conditions at the farm? Have you spoken to the new migrant workers that they brought in?
We haven't been in contact with the new workers that have been brought in, but we are continuing to be in contact with the workers who are still at the farm, workers who were there, who participated in the strike that took place regarding their housing conditions. And unfortunately, they're continuing to report that the same conditions are happening, but nothing much has changed.
Okay, Tanita, I'm going to have to let you go, but I do appreciate you taking the time to join us.
People. Now, this evening, a family member from a page sent me a video about the farm workers, brought it to my attention. And I started doing my research. And I went and find information. And people do many videos on these. Must I tell you, whole part video me do. Me even brought farm owner from Canada on this platform before. Yeah, Shaylin. Remember the white farm owner from Canada that come on my platform many times. Right? The person who owned farm, and she said she blamed the Jamaica government, who don't care about the Jamaica farm workers. Yeah, she blamed the Jamaica government. Now, let's read what going on with the UN. That's the brother right there who went for 14 days to Canada. This is brand new, people. This is brand new. Him went 14 days to Canada and find out, say, a nonsense are going on over there. He found out that the people might live like slaves. You understand me? So, and they slam it. So, I don't know what I'm going, but them changed some rules. Immigration laws are changing in Canada. Me have all that, so me have that also. And I want you guys to listen that. For you guys are living in Canada and I know I go on over there. You know? And Swagwan. UN envoy links temporary foreign worker program to contemporary forms of slavery. This is CBC News, right? Migrant workers make up about 15% of Canada's agricultural workforce. Statistics, Canada says. Thousands of workers come to Canada each year to work in agriculture sector through the temporary farm worker program, right? A UN national official on Wednesday denounced Canada's temporary farm worker program as a breeding ground for contemporary forms of slavery. Tamaya Abokata, that's the man right there on the screen. UN special rapporteur on temporary forms of slavery. You see him, man say, and contemporary forms of slavery made the comments in Ottawa after spending 14 days in Canada. Member Carl Samuda never see nothing to see here. Listen what this man say. I am disturbed by the fact that many migrant workers are exploited and abused in this country, he said. Agricultural and low-wage streams of temporary foreign workers program constitute a breeding ground for contemporary forms of slavery. Tamoya Abokata, UN Special Rapporteur on Contemporary Forms of Slavery, says, I him that in the people. The Special Rapporteur role was created by the UN in 2007. Its mandate includes investigating and advocating against forced or coerced labor. Abokata said migrant workers face deportation if they lose their work permits, which also prevent them from changing employers if they face abuse. This creates a dependency relationship between employers and employees, making the latter vulnerable to exploitation, he said, adding that many workers are reluctant to report abuse because they fear losing their permits. Remember, many times we come on my platform and tell about the liaison officers what them say them have when they work for the people, they work as them, they work for the boss. If the worker them have a problem on the farm and they call the liaison officer is going to go to the boss first, not the room where not to the Jamaicans, not to the farm workers who they are there to, you know. Thousands of workers come to Canada each year to work through the program. Statistics Canada estimates that temporary foreign workers make up 15% of Canada's agricultural workforce. The system came under scrutiny during the pandemic. Auditor General Karen Hogan reported in 2021 that the federal government did not do enough to secure those workers were being protected. That is true. That was a big thing in the Big C. Everybody now want big old room. I went to Canada, and that is true. Abokata's comment echo those of Jamaican migrants. So here in the Jamaican, more want to big up on yourself. You know? Change don't come easy. No one get sent home because of this change, my brother. No Jamaican will complain and say this is slavery. Carl Samuda no find nothing wrong with that. You know? Him claim saying Canada, him not see nothing wrong with it. Him come back, nothing to see here. But let me tell you, sir, this brother from the United Nations see what you guys are talking about. This brother from the United Nations understand what you guys are talking about. Not Carl Samuda, him said nothing to see here. And look how long farm work has been going to Canada from Jamaica. It tell you, the government are the biggest sellout. Quick sales, small profit, sell out. Because every head a slave, no, not slave, farm worker who got Canada, the government get money off of UNO. Every hour UNO work, the government collect. UNO are not but tools, rented tools, farmer program, all this program when them ever come spread bread over seas, this, you know, these politicians' son and daughter now in them, they depend on them work program. Where they get work program, come America come spread bread, wash plate. Farmer program where I got farmer go up on farm. It is all cheap labor where the government get money off of every hour you work a foreign and them never work for because them rent out them tool, you So them not care about your working condition. Shut up and dribble. Let me read again. Abu Carter's comments echo those of Jamaican migrant workers who, in an open letter to their country's Minister of Labour last year, him not do nothing for them. But yes, the United Nations hear you, Jamaica. Them heard you. So many of you guys get sent home. Some of you guys now come back. But we say some people have been dead for some live, you know. Some people have been dead for some live. The farmer, they will bawl. Other farmer will benefit from the cry or no cry. This calls the attention, they call the attention of the United Nations. Cause some would have go over there and could say nothing. So yes, Jamaican farm workers, the United Nations see the letter and then read it. See that's so. Abu Carter's comments echo what una say. That what you reading so. Him echo what una say. Slavery. The man says slavery. Bad condition. Him say bad condition. He's echoing everything what the Jamaican farm worker them say. So Abu Carter's comments echo those of Jamaican migrant workers who, in an open letter to their country's Minister of Labour last year, describing their working conditions in Ontario as systematic slavery, a subsequent report released by the Jamaican Labour Ministry did find it. Listen to me. Listen what the Labour Ministry wrote. A subsequent report released by the Jamaican Labour Ministry did find issues with the contemporary foreign worker program, but ultimately concluded that conditions were not slave-like. You hear that? You hear that? It take a different man. You know, this Asian brother here who work with the UN to go there for 14 days and find out these kind of these kind of living conditions was okay for Samuda. These type of dirty living condition. Most of these men come from nice homes. They never live like this. Enough of them man come from nice yard. But them a condition good for Samuda. Yeah? You talk about some of the most important people in the world. Farmers. Nobody in the world is as important as a farmer. Don't listen when you go to school and teacher ask you what you want to be when you grow up. If you say you want to be a farmer, you want to become a farmer, everybody laugh after you because they know the farmer always dirty and stuff like that. Not knowing that farmer is the most important person on this planet. No other job is as important. No matter what kind of other occupation you have, a farmer feed you from earth to heavens, from earth to space. And the battlefield, farmer feed everybody in the airplane and in the ship, where they are space station. Ain't nobody on this planet is as important as the farmers. But you can see when a family member left from Jamaica and come, because Samuda claims him go over there and don't say anything wrong with this. But the all right, but Mr. Abu Carter side with the Jamaican worker them who wrote a letter. So Abu Carter said he spoke with a number of migrant workers who described having to work excessive hours with no access to overtime pay. You hear that? You hear what happened to my brothers and sisters foreign? People me got Canada before, me go on farm work before. That enough to call us. Broke back work here, harsh condition. Living condition is bad, everything, people. Abu Carter said he spoke with a number of migrant workers who described having to work excessive hours with no access to overtime pay, being denied access to health care, and being forced to live in a cramped and unsanitary living condition. My God, you see, and a lie. The United Nations official called on the federal government to give all temporary foreign workers a pathway to longer term or permanent residency and grant workers permit that would allow them to switch employers freely. So because them know say them have it a way where are them responsible for you. If you complain, them can send it back to Jamaica, just like all these guys who wrote the letter and complained were sent back to Jamaica. Sorry about that. They were sent back to Jamaica, guys. So it's like, my God, it's bad condition and Jamaica government not sitting around with that, you know. Because Samuda saying government for investigate and nothing to see here. Syed Hussain, Executive Director of Migrant Worker Alliance for Change, said Abu Carter's conclusions are nothing new. You hear that? Remember, you have advocacy group. There are a bunch of advocacy group who they are Canada. There's this one young man who have a social media platform who always take up for the farm workers. He's repeating and he's saying what we have been saying for a long time. Migrant workers in this country are being exploited, and permanent resident status is the primary solution to ensure that they have equal rights, Hussain said. The government launched and later extended a pilot. The government launched and later extended a pilot program that opens up a pathway to permanent residency to a few thousand agricultural workers each year. Hussain said he hopes Abu Carter's comments will push the government to implement a permanent program for all temporary foreign workers. I think that if the United Nations rapporteur is disturbed, it's a message to the federal government that they are doing something very, very wrong, and they need to do an about turn and ensure status for all, he said. Government refutes rapporteur's report. When asked, Immigration Minister Mark Miller's office wouldn't say if a permanent pathway for all temporary workers to gain permanent residency status was in the works, and instead pointed to the other pathways like the agricultural worker pilot program. We cannot speculate on future policies. All new policies will be announced publicly, a spokesman said in an email. The spokesperson also refused Abu Carter's suggestions that workers aren't able to change employers. They said workers can apply for interim work permit that would receive a response within 10 to 15 days. Farm workers, you hear that? So you can apply for an interim work permit that would receive a response within 10 to 15 days, while IRCC issues work permits for temporary foreign workers. The bulk of the program is administered by Employment and Social Development Canada, ESDC. A spokesperson for Randy Boisonnault, the minister responsible for ESDC, told CBC that the government disagrees with the parts of Abu Carter's report. Especially, they said the federal government conducts random inspections to ensure employers are following the rules. You look like the Canada government, I tell the truth, because I years demand them about dirty living condition. It no change. But the government of Canada say them randomly, check these farms to make sure say them have living condition. But enough racism there, Canada. I want you guys also to understand hog and goat treatment. That's how some people see us. And I believe, say, living in an old building, I have been there before, I can tell you. An old metal building will look like something where we store fertilizer and chemicals. That's where we stay at when we go to Canada. Everybody in this one big old room, if a man fart or if boots stink, you got to smell that whole night. One fridge, one stove, one toilet, one shower for all of us. So if you come in and you want to cook, you have to wait till other man cooking rice and peas or whatever you cook. And then you wait, hungry about your shot. Yeah? If you have to wash, hey, let's continue. If an employer fails to meet program requirements or conditions or does not cooperate during an inspection, consequences can be severe, the spokesperson said in a statement. So how come these men are living in a dirty condition as our candidates here? Look at that. How come these men are living in this kind of condition? Not change, boy. No, it not change, family. In his report, Abu Carter raised concerns about federal and provincial inspection processes, suggesting that the inspections are infrequent and can take place via telephone. Merati. So hold on. So telephone the government call the farmer and say, hey, you all right over the place clean? Make the workers have good working living condition? You guys make what is a backside here? In a report, Abu Carter raised concerns about federal and provincial inspection processes, suggesting that inspections are infrequent and can take place by the phone. Backside. So Canada not busy with the work of them. Canada do not business with the treatment of temporary workers, and that's what it seems to call us. So take it from me. Here the man I say from the UN, 14 days in Canada. You think this man I'm on job? Why would this man lie? Eh? The man say a bad condition over there. The Jamaican farm workers have been facing this for the longest while, my lovely people. And this is not something like brand new. Brand new people. Not at all. La ja la 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 la. Brand new people. But the thing about Wagwan so, we want better. We are not hagan goat. It's about time them treat us right. Now, them start to pay attention to the living condition of farm workers more deeper in Big C. When you had the Big C, advocacy group says migrant workers deserve better. Big C19 has shown how vulnerable these employees can be. A new report says crops market industry and policy livestock production news people. The federal government has given nearly $1 billion to agri-food businesses, while migrants who actually grow the food are falling sick and dying, said Sonia Aviles, an MWAC organizer in a June news release. We need the federal and Ontario provincial government to go in and see what's going on. You see it? Canada government look like they don't care. It come from the UN brother, so I say it, and these advocacy group, I say it. We need the federal and Ontario provincial government, and this is from Big C, to go in and see what's going on and fix things to ensure workers are protected. Before more people die, that means SNAP inspections, social distances measures, and permanent resident status, she said. So we don't even go any further in that. You see the pattern of the Canadian government in protecting workers. And with Jamaican farm workers, them been through a lot. Yeah. So Jamaican workers expelled from Ontario farm after protesting poor conditions. Advocates say that. I'm going to see what I go on, people. This is the normal, you know? But there's a lot of the law in Canada a change. Immigration law a change. I want you guys to understand. So man gets sent back home because what? Man wants to stand up for himself. I'm going to play this 2 minutes clip.
Videos of alleged mistreatment of Jamaican migrant farm workers to show you.
Hold on, this brother right here, open to know him, you know. You know, this brother is always I do in video them. You know, Brandon. Yeah, the Brandon Gomez show. You know that brother there? He's a young black brother. You know, always I do advocacy group work. So I could hear what I'm going on right now, people. Here is peace and the said story where they this a year ago.
Pick and choose the days you want to work. That's not the way this works.
More disturbing videos of alleged mistreatment of Jamaican migrant farm workers to show you, and it's taking place right here in Canada.
Some days you're working, some days you're not. You don't pick and choose the days you want to work. That's not the way this works.
The Canadian government is investigating the circumstances of why some Jamaican migrant workers were sent back to the Caribbean after holding a one-day strike in protest of their workplace and living conditions at a farm in Ontario. Now, according to reports, those conditions allege that a row of toilets with shower curtains acting as doors were flooded to the brim, eventually overflowing into a kitchen area of a bunkhouse. This video has been making the rounds on social media, showing a man yelling at workers and apparently blaming them for clogging the drain while also berating them for refusing to work in such conditions.
Wow.
Reports say the workers arrived in Canada in the spring and were supposed to stay at the produce farm in southwestern Ontario until the fall, but were sent home on August 8th. That's at least 2 months ahead of schedule. Now, the Canadian government has confirmed that they are now investigating the situation and released this statement to media saying the mistreatment or abuse of temporary foreign workers is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. However, this is not the first time we've reported on a story like this. Time and time again, migrant farm workers have come forward detailing horrific working and living conditions on farms across Canada, conditions that have actually left some of these workers dead. 12 people have already died this year alone on Canadian farms that your organization is aware of.
We know of a dozen people who have died, and but we are now hearing more reports, so we're actually trying to figure out what the exact numbers are.
So let me ask you this. What do you think about the situation, and should the federal government do more to protect temporary foreign workers? Let me know in the comments below. Hey,
So that is the question everybody asks. The federal government in Canada, do not for the farm worker them. Then the Jamaica government. What the Jamaican government do? Nothing, because some other government have said nothing to see here. If we now wait for the Jamaican government to do nothing phone overseas, we'll make a sad mistake. They are not but board liquor. Them facilitate the modern day slavery. That's why all these investors come to Jamaica, them and say, come on in. Investors, come on in. And when they come to Jamaica, $2 an hour now get. And you have to go to other Caribbean island to get better jobs. Yeah? These people don't love you. Sometimes you. Them people don't rate you. They don't love you. You shouldn't live so. Farm workers are some of the most important people upon the face of the earth. Yeah? And they might treat like a dude or Canada because like a racism are going over there. And nobody now call it out. You know, this news that all over, this a year ago.
To the Caribbean from an Ontario farm after holding a strike in protest. Jamaican migrant workers were sent back to the Caribbean from an Ontario farm after holding a strike in protest of their workplace conditions.
Some days you're working, some days you're not. You don't pick and choose the days you want to work.
White boy.
That's the way this works.
In a video.
These white boy come talk to some Jamaica like that. But no, if a Jamaica then there, you know. You have to sit down and listen to white man talk to you like that. If you come working at doo-doo, you don't choose the day you want to work. And I blame them, said them clog the toilet. Treat these men like a dog. Not because of Jamaica where I come from. Some of these farm workers come from good, nice home. Don't get it stink. Some of these farm workers are coming from beautiful homes.
By CTV News Toronto, a man can be seen shouting and swearing at workers over their refusal to work. A previous video posted on social media shows a row of overflowing toilets with shower curtains acting as doors. The workers arrived in Canada in the spring and were scheduled to remain at the farm until the fall, but they were sent home on August 8th instead. Jamaica's Labour Minister says an investigation has since been launched. And the federal government says it is reviewing the circumstances of the workers' departure. The farm, however, has not responded to repeated interview requests from CTV News Toronto. For more on this story, I am joined live by Tanita Doma, member of Justice for Migrant.
So, me sure now already. So, let's see what I'm going to hear what she has said. Man, I live like a dog, a foreign, and enough of them man I come from a good home. Me tell you something, every farmer I come from local dirty squalor life. No, your farmer can come from decent home. So you got a foreign now, and you expect, you know, say another yard you there. But your living condition must stay so. You will have not supposed to in a one big old room like a hog pen we in a. That's how I feel. I feel like a hog pen we in a. They will away. Not supposed to in a one big old room, brother. You know? Whatever man want to pleasure himself, if they are away from your wife or your girlfriend. I mean, a little space. Every man deserves a little room. Imagine you as a farmer. You're in there. Can't beat your meat. No, serious talking. Treat the man them like a nothing in Canada. The most important set of people on the face of the earth, they are your farmers. Even though when we go to school, and them say, what you want to be when you grow older? What them say? Be no farmer. But me gonna play something for you, see? I really want to play something because the immigration policy in Canada kind of change a little bit. You understand me? So they might plan to cut certain things in Canada. The Prime Minister in Jamaica say, the Jamaican government say it's not going to affect farmers. They're not going to affect the farmers. But we're not sure. Canada people are saying, boy, immigrants are take them work. But do you think that Canadian people want to go on a farm, go work? Do you think the people of Canada want to go work on a farm? Same thing America too, you know. They must say, boy, the immigrants are take them work. I mean, I see no American gladly to go wash no dish, go work in a no farm, glad to go build no construction and do certain type of work. A foreign, me not see the American people, population in America, glad to do these work, would them claim that immigrants are take away. So you think the immigrant of Canada want this farm worker job? New laws. Let me play this so you guys can hear at least part of this video while I go on. Okay. So basically, Canada is reducing the number of foreign workers effective September 26 this year. Canada will be reducing the number of foreign workers start effective September 26 of this year.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What can you hear this brother have to say?
Things are changing, everybody. What was old is now new again. Back in 2014, 2015, then Minister Jason Kenney, who was the minister over ESDC and essentially the Temporary Foreign Worker Program, realized that young Canadians weren't getting their first entry into the labor market because the various, service industries were all full of foreign workers. At the time, it was the LMIA program. There were Filipino workers that were dominating a lot of the jobs within those positions. And oh man, it was hard because when I went to Boston Pizza and I had my my favorite pizza, tropical chicken. Oh my goodness, did I love that pizza. And the moment Jason Kenney introduced these new restrictions to cap the number of foreign workers to 10%, instantly I noticed my Boston Pizza pizzas were not nearly as good once the Canadians started making them. But it was a reality. And we're now right back full circle to where we were before. And at the time, elections were coming up, just like now.
All right, and you are going. Everything is election and politics, people. Politics play a great role in a lot of things, Anyway, let me push on through 6 days ago in a different video. I saw people. This world is changing here.
It seems trouble is brewing in Canada. Hundreds of Indian students have been staging protests against a new policy by the Justin Trudeau government that puts them at risk of being deported from the country. The new policy is aimed at reducing the number of permanent residency nominations by 25%, as well as limiting study permits. Now, why is the Trudeau government doing this? The government says the change is to give preference of jobs and housing to Canadians first. The change comes, remember, as Canada sees a rapid population growth over the last few years. As per federal data, about 97% of last year's population increase in Canada was driven by immigration. Remember, many international students, particularly those in India, aspire to move to Canada in hopes of building a better life. But the new immigration policy changes have left the future of more than 70,000 student graduates uncertainty. Indian students have been camping in front of the Legislative Assembly in Canada's Prince Edward Island province, protesting the policy change. In fact, similar demonstrations were also seen in the provinces of Ontario, Manitoba, and British Columbia. may suggest. Amid a local housing and job crisis, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government is under pressure to reduce the number of temporary residents. Added to that, his continuous low numbers in popularity polls of an election next year.
Politics.
Let's try and understand the situation better on the broadcast. First, I'm joined by Daniel Bodman, Canadian journalist. We will be joined by a student as well, an immigration expert a bit later as well. Daniel, good evening. Namaskar. Welcome to Mirror Now. I understand from you what is happening in Canada as far as the immigration policy is concerned. Here's a man, Justin Trudeau, who has been supporting immigrants all this while, and now he comes up with a policy saying that we want to reduce the number of temporary residents here. Why is that?
Well, because this policy is cataclysmically failed, and everyone in the country is turning against him on it, and he's losing people among the left who are seeing the destruction wrought by these open immigration policies with absolutely minimal vetting. And it's everyone. It's not just hurting Canadians, but it's hurting a lot of the Indian students who are being sent into Canada. They're being sold this Canadian dream. You're being told that, well, most students are signing pieces of paper because you can't stay here. You're coming to study. You have to study here and then go back to where you came from a bit, and then you can apply again for permanent residency, or then you can go to the next step. But you do have to go back. They're being told by people in India and in Canada, scammers on both sides of the border, that, oh, no, you can work around this, we can get you in. Some people come in and then they get student visas. One of the scams is they then, to be refugees from the Punjab region, Pakistanis get involved here. There's even someone who's now claiming to be a refugee from their own parents. Their parents are mean, so they need refugee status in Canada. This is the level of absurdity it's getting to. And these people, a lot of it's human trafficking. They're being forced thousands of dollars for services they don't need. Some of it's scam. Being sold a job market that doesn't exist. Some of them are going to universities or accredited organizations that are, yes, they're strip malls with a bunch of schools inside these malls and universities that offer you online classes. So they don't really prepare you for anything. You end up basically becoming an Uber driver all night. You live in a house and share a room with 5 or 6 people where you sleep on the floor and you pay exorbitant amounts of rent. So this is the situation people are getting into. It's not benefiting anyone. And the government, 72 hours ago, Justin Trudeau would have called Justin Trudeau from current day a despicable racist, no place in Canada. And we need immigration at maximum levels because immigration is always good. If there's any problems in the country since 2015, the answer has been just throw immigration at it. It increases the GDP supposedly, but not GDP per capita because you of course have more GDP in a country of 40 people. Which is what I'm coming to next, Daniel.
The fact that this comes ahead of an election. I can't help but ask how much of this actually has political influence, has the reasoning of Justin Trudeau's popularity dipping and the kind of local domestic challenges that he's been facing at home in terms of housing and the job crisis that his government probably hasn't been able to resolve.
It's 114% because of that. And there's even reports now that they're trying to fast track as many people as they can. They're skipping the vetting process to get as many. Listen, the Canadian economy, our number one is we shut down the resource industry under Trudeau because that's bad and climate change and blah, 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 blah. So it's better to buy it from Gulf states and communist states like Venezuela. That will get our energy there. So our number one economy was human trafficking and money laundering. And the Liberals and most of the government has a sort of a finger in the pie in this. So a lot of these kids from other places too are being scammed with this Canadian dream, being forced to pay thousands, go into these institutions, but then funnel money back to the political parties and so on and so forth. It's gotten to the point where they literally cannot hide the damage this is doing to the country, where everyone can see it, everyone can feel it.
Politics, people, politics. So here, politics. Let's play another little clip. Canada in chaos. Whoa, 70,000 international students. A lot of us will live in Canada in a trouble too. We Jamaicans. This bother everybody. And I don't know when we jump on praise boat. You know, we are Jamaicans. But let me tell you something before me play this video. My experience at Canada, me tell you guys when me go there, me get hold up at the airport because me got farm work from 19 all long from the devil was a boy. And me left the farm work and me take my own plane, come back. And I like, jump on my own plane, take my own plane, find my own ticket, come back to Jamaica. So me never go through for them system, so them things me run off. So me go Canada the other day. That's what hold me up at the airport because them did have some arrest, something for me out for my arrest. That's years ago. But you know, that still pick up on the stuff. But that's gone because them system there at the US and me clean like whistle. But it kind of hold me up at the airport and it kind of piss me off for no reason because a bunch of Indian who work at the airport, them nasty, now have the manners, disrespectful and go like them run Canada. Me see them, that was my experience in Canada. And a lot of student worker, students are immigrant worker was coming through, a lot of them, and them let them through. All them come to Canada with is them backpack and a little carry-on. Indians don't carry a lot of techie. Them don't carry a lot of bags. Me I tell them about my experience, people. Also, some notes a lot of Indian, me see a lot of them. And they ask them, why are you here? Work. Why are you here? Remember me in the sit down, you know. Long time in there, long enough to see and hear everything. Why are you here? Work. So many people come, every Indian come in there work and come there from. Why are you here? Work. I have Indian immigration officer. Them in the people, them rank them on no manners, disrespectful. We know that and so Canada want nobody to represent them country. Some Indian worker immigration of Canada, them nasty, them not no manners. Me want to turn back home. Believe me. Me almost turn home. Me I said to my friends, say, you know, so me just feel like to turn back and just go back where I go. Me just feel just jump on a plane and just go back to America, go my yard. Cause this crap, me know, I mean, what me I come here for? But me had to come over there because of the people's business and people's business mission I was on. So when I tell you, no, when we got to Canada and I was staying at the hotel, outside because the airport is close by, I mean like for watch the plane, them a come down low and a land. They said the plane them a touch on so low, they almost like it a touch the hotel top. I mean just love to see big machine like that in the air. So I go out there, you know, hang off. And guess what? Indians I come beg me smoke. I come beg me not smoke cigarette. I come beg me smoke. Just like if I go anywhere and some homeless people, homeless Indians in India, Indians in Canada. Me not see that America. I do not see that America. Remember, California have the most homeless people in the country. Me not see no homeless Indians on the street of California. Me not see it. Me not see it. Me see homeless Indians of Canada. I come over, come beg me cigarette, I come beg, I come seek. Me just, I don't lie me, I tell linger, you see them a linger, accompany the hotel compound. You have one of them who look like them sleeping on one truck and the hotel compound. Him come over and I beg me, I beg me, them I beg people. They are Canada, I beg. Indians, normally it would be us, our kind of people. We look like say we are beg, but this time we got Canada. I never see, oh, none of our people are big. Indian, me see over there, so much Indian there, Canada. So they must report me here. Hey, it's only a matter of time before them pull the plug because Canada are swarm with Indian. Also, me hear something where they want, they might give them permit to come to Canada, but them they want them to live in a more rural area of Canada. So you know, go in a certain part and flood out the town that we're already full already. So if you can go to Canada and go live in a some rural part, it seems as if me I read one report earlier, they're willing to do that. But India, they are Canada beg, like a homeless man. Beg cigarette, beg everything, I beg. I was just in Canada. I'm here talk at the hotel me there, you know. I see Indian linger on the compound. I see I'm gonna come from way down, so I know exactly where I come from. Come here, black man. I'm used to my people them. It was always my people them who never have it. And I come over, come ask, and I beg. But in Canada, I was surprised because me no see it America. No, me no see it America. Honestly. Me no see that America where Indian so much that them the road a beg a cigarette. But you know, Jaja. Let's play this clip. See if you guys can hear. Wow.
We fight back! We fight back! We fight back!
People, Indians, they're Canada protesting up. We fight back! We fight back! We fight back! Not going back to India. Indians, at them at the forefront of the fight at India now for steal a white man place. And now we, people, you know, so I'm going to Canada. The Indian them turn on the protests. They don't want to go back home. Make you listen. I'm gonna continue with this, with some of this tomorrow, because as me I do this, more information will pop up. And Jano, I don't feel me no jump up for any man I get kicked out of any country. Because I'm an immigrant myself too. I am. And you know, anything happen to one a week over here, it can happen to anybody. Countries normally follow country, especially these 3 big countries. And but I want to tell you, say, me go Canada. Indian, me see over there beg. May I tell the truth? Indian, me see over Canada, I beg. And what that? Me there a hotel and me see them me out a door and man a linger come out there come beg me smoke. Me say what this year? Hotel me there out a door. What kind of hotel this year? But people, they no business nowhere around the so you know. But they just walk. But anyway, Indian own the hotel them anyway. Indian own the hotel them, you know. Indian, so you have Indian that pick up truck asleep on the hotel compound.
Restrict the number of low-wage temporary foreign workers. The Prime Minister announcing the plan during a Liberal cabinet retreat in Halifax on Monday. Beginning September 26th, Ottawa will refuse applications in cities with an unemployment rate of 6% or more. For more on this, we're bringing in immigration lawyer Lev Abramovich from the Canadian Immigration Lawyers Association. Thank you for joining us today, Lev.
Thank you for having me.
So what were your thoughts on this announcement?
Well, I had some mixed thoughts on this. I think the announcement is largely political in nature. And I think the government is seeing that the polls are not favorable and the consensus on immigration is changing. And so following the changes to the student program worker, which were far too late in my view, they're now bringing in certain changes to the temporary foreign worker program. And by way of a reminder, we have 2 programs, the temporary foreign worker program and the international mobility program. So these changes are quite limited, and they're really, in my view, somewhat reactionary. I don't think they're going to have a meaningful change in terms of numbers, but they're certainly going to signal to Canadian employers that the days of automatic approvals are over, and perhaps there's a culture change as well.
For those who haven't been following this story, perhaps you can shed some light on why this was becoming a problem.
Well, it was becoming a problem for it's been a problem for a long time. I think there is a decent amount of abuse. Job offers are being sold. Workers are being abused. They don't have the same rights as Canadian workers would. And in many instances, this leads to exploitation. So I think that problem is not actually being addressed. I think what the government is hoping to do, first and foremost, is, again, their aims are political in nature. They're hoping to sort of reverse sliding rankings. They're hoping to show Canadians that they care about, youth unemployment and so on. But I think what they're aiming to do is they're aiming to open up more opportunities for young Canadians and new immigrants as well. But the problem is that they have allowed certain industries to pretty much get addicted to temporary foreign workers, and many of those industries are exempt from the new changes. So, for example, if you're working in hospitality, this is not going to affect you. If you're working at fisheries, this is not going to affect you. So I think the problems that we have to look at are declining productivity rate, for example, a broader conversation about nation building and our immigration policy, and so on. And these changes, they're sort of cosmetic in my view, and I don't think they really change things that much.
For employers, only 10% of their workforce can be hired through the program, down from 20%. The maximum duration for these positions will also be reduced from 2 years to 1. Advocates for businesses say the workers are needed in many sectors. Global News spoke to a business owner earlier this week who worries some businesses will shutter because they won't be able to find workers. What would you say to that?
I sympathize, because the government has allowed certain sectors to really be to use the program without any limitations. We've created a culture where I think young Canadians are not necessarily even looking at jobs because they associate those jobs with temporary foreign workers. And I think certain industries will be hurt. And I think this also required consultation. But I think ultimately we can't keep bringing in the same number of workers without having a broader conversation about our policy, because a lot of these workers won't transition to permanent residency. There will be permanent, there will be abuse, and so on. And I think the changes as they are, they're not going to affect many sectors where there are foreign workers, a lot of low-wage foreign workers. So I think this is sort of the start maybe of a broader process.
Certain industries are exempt from the changes due to acute labor needs, including healthcare, agriculture, construction, and food security. Why exempt these industries, and do you think this is the right move?
Well, they exempt these industries because they realize that over the last few years, and broadly under this government, these industries have certainly gotten addicted to a certain way to temporary foreign workers, because a culture has been created, LMIAs were being approved really quickly, they were not investing in youth employment, and so on. So if you're going to introduce those changes now, those industries won't be able to survive, and the government understands that. That's why they're exempt.
Okay. Lev, thank you so much for this. That's immigration lawyer Lev Abramovich from the Canadian Immigration Lawyers Association.
So just as I hear the farm workers are not going to be affected by this. They're going to be exempt because and hospitality work and all them work on it. Them can't do without UNO. Them can't do without UNO. I said you guys are the most important. A farmer is the most important. They are the most important people on the face of the earth. Farmer keep this world going. Nobody could be standing on this earth alive without the farmer. You are dead. You're dead long time on the hand of the earth without the farmer who are till the soil, yard and abroad. And big up all the farm workers that we are going foreign from. We never have social media have a post on the condition so the UN can go, they go investigate and on our behalf. Give thanks. No for on go foreign and come back to Jamaica dead, you know, and no get little or no compensation from the government of Canada. You understand me? And the Jamaican government is okay with that. You see it. But social media I show certain things. For the first time when it was last year, whole of video I come out a year before and last year. Several videos coming out of these farms. A farm worker from Jamaica especially angry about the working condition because they are younger farm worker, younger people. When for them father and grandfather got farm work, could have barely read. They don't complain. Your father and grandfather never have no cellular phone. So now your father and grandfather, grandpickney, start go on farm work now. Them have them cellular phone. They're more mouthy. They not take this. Them used to a better life. Them not used to the life of the father and grandfather. Remember them people that used to dip on mud hutting and sleep. You older people used to rough a life. Newer people don't used to them type of life there. But most of our people, the United Nations, come down upon Canada and call the type of treatment where the man them asleep under. They say the breeding ground for contemporary slavery. And the UN, the United Nations, basically agreed with the Jamaican farm worker them. Agreed with them. Whoop for the days away to get back the man that will complain and get kicked back to Jamaica to get back their job. I hope there's a pathway for that. Because if the United Nations find out that the Jamaican farm worker them will complain and get deported back home. Now the UN is echoing the same sentiment. That's what I read for you. Echoing. If they say yes, something say yes, that's an echo. So they say slavery. The UN are echoing. It's a slavery. So them everything with the Jamaican farm worker them instead. The United Nations and the brother who went over there for 14 days find it to be true. So you have to tell me, under what basis these farm workers were deported back to Jamaica? Was it under somebody lied on them? Was it truthful? The documents were then write up why them send back those farm workers home because them complain of bad treatment that the United Nations say yes, it is bad treatment. What ground did they send these farm workers back home on? What basis? What they were doing? Were they lying? What happened? I hope there's a pathway for these gentlemen who got sent home to get back a chance to go back to Canada. Remember, people have to die for people to live. The ones who get kicked back home are the ones who complain. And the new ones who not going to benefit from the complaint of the older these farm workers that complain. Who will benefit from them? Who will get certain benefit and don't know where they're coming from? They highlight, they pen a letter. So it seems as if this is the first set of farm workers who have ever penned a letter. You look like they make somebody with sense go on farm up this time. You look like they make a Jamaica with sense. We can read and write. And them are going foreign now. And I don't. So the man then pen a letter, right, to the Jamaica government. Remember, Carl Samuda go over there and say, him not seen much wrong with the working condition. He not seen what they matter about slavery. Our government minister went over there, you know, and disagree with his farm worker, you know. And the brother from the United Nations representative went over there for 14 days and agreed with Jamaica, you know. It's something different, brother. Look at it. Your government disagree with you. And lie you are tell. Shut up on your mouth. You know what people want to come to Canada? And guess what they did? They sent those home and replaced them with some others. The Jamaica government is right behind them. Just like the oil company, just like PSOJ, just like JPS, your government side with others against us every time. It's never for the people. The same letter with the man them write. When the man gets sent home for, and the Jamaica government send more man and replace them. Get rid of these slaves. They complain too much. Send me some fresh guys. Just send me some fresh ones. These guys are a bag of problem. Get rid of them. Working cotton. Look here. Just send me some new guys. I'm sure they're not gonna complain about the stinky place with the rats and roach and overflow toilet. So you send home the man them instead of fix the problem and get some other slave. Replace them. There's a conveyor belt of cheap labor out of Jamaica where government no run for sell and go rent out. After every head will come out foreign, every hour you work, the government will get money off of you. I get rent, you get rent out. Farm work program, all foreign work program. I rent, you get rent out. Which other country want to see I rent out them people? Which other country want to see I rent out people, boy? What kind of countries do that? Look at the countries that will do that. Look at countries who send them people from farm working program, work program. What kind of country that? What must I tell you? I'm not giving a secret. Did you know that, me say, British workers in America farm work program from England? Me never know that. Me never know say hard life take England so that England workers have in America. People me see it. Temp worker. I repeat. I've seen England worker from England I work in a Florida at them country club. Hospitality. Britain, white people from Britain, South Africa. All about, but me talk about Britain, England. Me never know say people from England that come to America for a work program. Me never know people. Me book one last year. Last year is the first time I know. Say people from England, just like Jamaica. Just like we say Jamaica come up and so you see them there, all of them country club around Florida and them, you know, take care of them rich people and stuff. Me see it, people from England in America. I've seen it, people. British people, America, Florida, right at Florida in a Boca Raton. Yes, and I lie me in a Boca work program. I will not lie to you. I never know till last year. Britain. We not talk about South Africa and so like Britain. And the South African white people them so like that. I mean, the same England people, them Australian, Scottish, New Zealand. England take over the whole world. So you're gonna have everybody so like England in Britain. All the way. But yes, people, temp worker come from England, a Boca Raton. I've seen it. We was surprised. South Africa, everywhere. We see them. Yeah, man. So people, whenever government don't give a damn about you, you can see it. These guys are living in a bad situation, and Carl Samuda said nothing to see here. So immigration law change in Canada. What things? Pay attention to that. I was reading another article I wanted to play for you guys, but sure, it lost me. The amount of things that changed in Canada, immigration-wise, and they might expect more change. Basically, politicians, you can't trust them. Politicians are too much. Anything to keep them in an office. Trudeau, yeah, politics make him do this. No matter how him hate what him do, or, you understand me? Politics just to keep power. Power make you bend up in an S and in a pretzel. To stay in the office and seek power. You hear a type of promise like sleep with the windows and door open. And all type of stuff politicians will do. Just to stay in a power. Not stay there. Politics. Anyway, farm workers, when the voice on the letter never drop on the ground and mash up. The United Nations read your guys' letter and agree with you that the condition, a slavery condition over the Japan. The United Nations read your letter, Jamaica, and they agree with you guys that the working condition is slavery, contemporary slavery. And the United Nations agree. Jamaica did not agree. Mr. Matthews, Carl Samuda did not agree with what you guys have to say. But to take another man, well, look different from we. Totally different. To believe we, when our own can, you know, like I say, them not feel with pain. Them boy in the office not more than a full them pocket. You could have ball till you can't ball no more. Don't forget when the student and they stuck at the Ukraine, you know. Remember the government doing the student and stuck at Ukraine? Remember some man go and send some money to help them out. You have to give him respect for that because that did happen and that is in a history. That I don't know nobody I come tell we see it all happen. Because dirty thinking mattress on the man in the pan. How much farm workers sleep on it for dirty thinking mattress there? Eh? Them man have grandfather probably used to go to Canada go sleep on it for dirty thinking mattress there. Yo, them man not treat the people them good. It look like a barn them there in a room where them store fertilizer and chemical. Look on that. At them place that them things that Jamaica become sleep. Can you imagine the type of things the man them are breathing? No wonder farmer can have so much cancer. Come back here, come dead. Breathing all type of stuff. Them old building have asbestos in them. There's no doubt. Most of these older building have asbestos. Killing off the farm workers before time. All the while, our government don't give a damn. Anyway, people, thank you so much for watching this video. I like this video and I want Jamaicans. I'm a sister send a video come give me. I just send a video come give me. I'm saying, no, I'm going to do a research on it. And come to find out the backside, there's so much story because me always do them story of people. Remember, Carlos always do these things. I know they force me to do them things. Me do video, me call farm owner out of Canada to come on my platform before. I remember Shailene. I'm a Facebook friend, you know. The white chick. She named Shailene. She owned farm in Jamaica. She used to have Jamaican farm worker come to our place. And she blamed the Jamaican government for not looking out for the Jamaican farm workers. I say the Jamaican government and negotiate poor. I tell you guys all the time. Just like if you wash pot and spread bed in Jamaica at any hotel. If you leave, go to the next Caribbean island, where most Jamaica want to go to. You stay at Caribbean, in the Caribbean island and spread the same hotel bed. And you can afford to build a house back in Jamaica. In Jamaica, you can't build a room. You can't build a one room spread in bed. You cannot. It's hard. But big up every farm worker, like me say, someone who got farm work people and they make a good life out of it. Despite the condition, them sending people to school, them build big house. I told you when I was growing up in Jamaica, the first local electricity in a community, and many communities in Jamaica, the farmer can bring a local Delco, one electrical plant, They bring a little sound system. I used to go to a sound system with Farmoka own. They buy 2 speakers this year, then come back, then bring 1 amps, then bring 1 this, and before you know, them have a full sound system. So I said, respect to all the Farmoka, them will go a farming and do the thing, and Uno never complain. But it's different time now. Thanks for all this new blood who are going on phone and who have a different concept and a mindset of life and expect better, and you let them know, say, Uno and now them grandfather. That is what me getting from these people. Me and no grandpapa. We are different and we expect better treatment. And what you guys did, and even though it's sending guys back home, got you deported off the farm, one day others will benefit from you guys later. Because even the United Nations agree with you guys. Good job.
So the UN is slamming Canada. Canada's in trouble. They are denouncing the temporary foreign worker program and referring to it as a breeding ground for modern day slavery. Take a look.
A recently released UN investigation says Canada's temporary foreign worker program serves as a breeding ground for contemporary forms of slavery.
The allegations that are made in the report would come as no surprise to any immigration lawyer in Canada.
The UN Special Rapporteur into contemporary forms of slavery points to how many temporary workers are tied to an employer through a closed work permit, meaning they're only allowed to work for the company that sponsored them to come to Canada, leading to examples of what he says is underpayment, wage theft, physical, emotional, and verbal abuse. This special rapporteur came to these conclusions in part during a 2-week trip to Canada last year.
So this has been going on for quite some time now, and there have been several reports from temporary foreign workers who have launched complaints about the way that they have been treated when coming up under the temporary foreign worker program. The problem is that the closed work permit that was referenced in this video, which is also referred to as the employer workers permit, makes them beholden to their employer. And the employer controls everything, right down to their living conditions, their health care. You know, this is why they feel like they can control the foreign workers, and they are abused physically, verbally. They have been SA'd. A lot of them get very ill because of the lack of health care. Some of them have been since unalived, and they're just sent back to their country as though they're just a disposable piece of trash. And this is all because of this particular program that really is garbage. It is inhumane, and this is why the UN is looking at it and calling it a form of modern day slavery, because that in fact is what it is. You have multiple foreign workers living in one small space, sharing one bathroom. The plumbing and bathroom conditions are absolutely horrible. You've got flooding toilets. You have feces bubbling over all over the floor. There are rats, rodents, cockroaches. The living conditions are absolutely horrific. And a lot of these foreign workers stay quiet because last year, when a group of them decided they were going to speak up and they did what was called a one-day strike, they were all shipped back. So the rest of them stayed quiet because they rely on these jobs for their families. These employers also, you know, are in control of their migration status. So there's clearly a power imbalance here. And so what the UN is calling for is them to end this program. And the other solution is to provide these foreign workers with permanent status. This way, it loosens the control that they have on the workers, and the workers can now get all of the benefits that a permanent resident has today, which is healthcare. You have the option to work for any employer that you want. So a pathway to permanent residency is the key recommendation under this report, so that our foreign workers that come up can be better taken care of. I really hope and pray that they're able to pull this off, because I do know that they're probably going to have a lot of resistance. And also it'll probably take years and years and years for this to be corrected. Because on one end, we have this going on, but on the other end, we have the immigration minister, Mark Miller, saying that they're going to be limiting the amount of foreign workers that are going to be coming this year. So there's different spectrums going on here. So I will be keeping my eye on this. We want to see the migrant workers being treated fairly and being treated humanely, and we need to eliminate this breeding ground for modern day slavery. It's just not acceptable. Let me know what you all think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the
Guys, when you hear that, thank you guys for watching this video. Share this, everything somebody should hear this. Talk to you guys tomorrow. And big up every farm worker. Yeah? Yeah? Can't look around the farm worker. Manners and respect, people. Thank you so much. Carl Samuda is a load of turd.
For me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. COVID money, miss away, eat the yellow rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste my bust a man to statue. Say be like a catch you, but they got in a figure you. Take the spit of money, gal and say that it's not you. One day the man above end up, him a got a breath. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly well like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% raise.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again.